Om Ajnana Timarandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshuram Militam Chena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachamine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatanine Jayase Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasani Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Dham, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare
Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Rama Hare
Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome. So last night we began our journey with Narada Muni. And he, of course, has the power to go anywhere and everywhere that he wants. And he traveled quite fast from one recommended great Vaishnava, great personality, to the next, to the next, to the next. And finally, on the advice of Lord Shiva, he was directed towards the residence of Vaikuntha-loka. And in particular, Lord Shiva suggested, go and visit Prahlad. Do we have some music? Go and visit Prahlad. So after Narada heard Lord Shiva's words, which greatly impressed him, he was very eager to meet Prahlad. And so he set off for Sutala, where he found Prahlad, the best of Vaishnavas, in a secluded place, absorbed in loving meditation on the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. Upon seeing Narada approaching, Prahlad quickly stood up and offered prostrate obeisances. Feeling great reverence for Prahlad, Narada shed tears while saying, "Now I have finally seen that you are the recipient of Krishna's full mercy. From your very childhood, you were endowed with pure devotion. Such spontaneous love has never been seen anywhere before. While immersed in meditation on Krishna, you seemed to forget your own existence and dancing, crying, calling out loudly, your body trembling. By virtue of that pure devotion, you overcame terrible obstacles, thousands of outrages that your father committed against you, and by your influence, all the demons' sons became devotees. This world is especially fortunate, since you, the best of Vaishnavas, are present." When Brahma was terrified, he begged you to approach Sri Nrsingadev, and you fell at his lotus feet, and he stood up, and he raised you from the ground, and he put his lotus hand on your head, and he began to lick your entire body. And then, with clever enticements, he tried to offer you the supreme abode, and you showed no interest in liberation, the liberation that is prayed for by Brahma and everyone else. Rather, you asked for only devotion to the Lord, birth after birth. And responding to your Lord's love, you agreed to accept your father's throne, for by doing so, you wished to help deliver all people. Hearing Narada speaking, Prahlad, unable to tolerate hearing his own praises, lowered his face in embarrassment. Bowing before Narada, he respectfully addressed him in a quiet voice. Sri Prahlad said, "My Lord and spiritual master, please reconsider everything that you have said. A small boy cannot simply understand the science of devotion to Krishna. And yet, when one receives instructions from great souls like yourself, these instructions have the power to awaken one's higher understanding. And then one can engage in devotional service. Thus, it is not a sign of greatness when ordinary persons like me can persevere despite disturbances, or give enlightenment to children, or behave like saintly persons in showing compassion or refusing the boon of liberation. These are all natural side effects of pure devotional service, which become manifest when one's intelligence is mature. And they occur when one receives instructions from great saints like yourself, who are causelessly bestowing their mercy. Sometimes I remember the Lord when my mind is troubled, but I never performed any real service. It is actually a fact that Sriman Nrsingadev, he performed his pastime not to please, not to favor me, but to protect the devas, his devotees, and to deliver his two eternal servants. When he gave me a kingdom, I understood that I had not received even one atom of his mercy. As the Lord says, when I favor someone, I make him lose all his opulence. And now, see how my worship of the Lord has been eclipsed by my attachment to ruling my kingdom and my ties to my family members, servants, etc. All saintly authorities conclude that the Lord truly gives his mercy when he grants the right to render various services. A blessing he gave to such devotees as Hanuman. I am not able to see my Lord directly whenever I want. When I once saw him on the shore of the ocean, it was just like a dream. But Hanuman is much, much, much more fortunate. For many thousands and thousands of years, he has enjoyed serving his Lord constantly without any obstruction. He is the most powerful person. As a child, the demigods favored him with several wonderful benedictions, and thus he became immune to old age and disease and death. He is free from fear, maintains great vows, and performs auspicious deeds. Outstanding amongst heroes, he is an exceptional servant of the Lord of the Raghus. With playful disregard, he jumped across thousands of miles of fathomless ocean to the capital of the Rakshasa king and comforted Mother Sita in her distress. And when he brought news of Sita, he received his master's deep embrace. It was Hanuman who acted as his Lord's best carrier. And it was Hanuman who directed the project of bridging the ocean. He destroyed the military forces of the Rakshasas and brought victory to Lord Ramachandra. And it is Hanuman who still lives in this world, although unable to bear the separation from his Lord. My dear spiritual master, Hanuman's greatness is very well known. Why not go and see him yourself? Narada jumped up from his seat and flew through the sky to Kim Purusha Varsha, repeating, Hanuman, 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 how wonderful, how wonderful. And when Narada saw Hanuman, he was absorbed in worshipping Lord Ramachandra's lotus feet with various forest items and listening to the Ramayana, and tears poured down from his eyes as he glorified the Lord with various compositions of his own. Narada was delighted. Hanuman jumped up and caught Narada by the neck. Narada said, "O Blessed One, truly you are the dearest devotee of the Supreme Lord. Just today, by seeing you, I too have become dear to him." In a blink of an eye, Hanuman became sober and bowed to offer respect. He greeted Narada with reverence and brought him into the temple of Lord Ramachandra, the hero of the Raghus. Sri Narada said, "Yes, you are the greatest recipient of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. No one can compare with you. You are his servant, his friend, his carrier, his seat, his flag, his umbrella, his canopy, his fan. You are his bard. You are his advisor, his doctor, his general, his best helper, and the expander of his infinite glories. Indeed, your devotion for the Lord is absolutely pure, for you consider nothing more valuable than the pleasure of serving him." Now Hanuman was burning in the fire of separation from his master, and the fuel of hearing about special mercy brought that fire to a blaze. For a while he cried, and then he spoke. Sri Hanuman said, "O best of sages, why are you doing this? Why do you make me cry by reminding me of how the Lord has neglected me? If I am truly the Lord's servant, why did he forcibly leave me behind when he left for the spiritual kingdom?" And then, like every other Vaishnava Narada had approached thus far, Hanuman tried to divert the sage's glorification to somebody else. All the mercy he has shown to me cannot equal even one speck of the mercy he has shown to the saintly Pandavas. He acted as their servant, their advisor, their messenger, their charioteer, and even their court attendant. He kept watch for them at night. He followed them on processions. He even offered them praises and obeisances. Sometimes he drove Arjuna's chariot, and in Yudhishthira's court he sat at the head of the assembly of advisors. Like an intimate servant, he anticipated the Pandavas' every wish, and at the Rajasuya sacrifice, he humbly washed the feet of every guest. All the calamities that befell the Pandavas were most auspicious, because all those calamities made that personality of Godhead anxious to quickly join the Pandavas, and ignoring all discrimination and all etiquette, they engaged my Lord as their messenger and charioteer. Therefore, O Narada, best of the Vaishnavas, let us go together to see the Pandavas and take shelter of them and even stay with them and learn about devotional service. As Hanuman considered the inestimable benefit that he and Narada would achieve, he reached the peak of eagerness. And then he sighed for a moment. And after a brief moment of thought, he bowed down to Narada and he said, certainly it would be fitting for us to visit them and offer service, for they are most dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet, I am not independent. My Lord may call me to show me his beautiful form that I love more than my life. I must be ready to present myself before him without delay whenever he may call. But now you please go visit the Pandavas at their home. They live in intimate relationship with the supremely attractive personality of Godhead, whose pastime activities are full of sweet variety and who is the source of all other attractive persons. What more can a forest monkey like me say about them? Your Lordship already knows much more than I about their glories. Beside himself with joy, Narada next arrived in the kingdom of the Kurus and raced into Hastinapur, their capital city. Maharaj Yudhishthira at once stood up with his brothers, mother, and wives. Narada chanted at length the glories which Hanuman had spoken about the favor that Krishna had given to them, and he accompanied his words by playing his veena. Narada said, "You indeed are the most fortunate devotees, persons on earth. The Lord of all, Lord of the universe, the Lord of everything, is your dearmost friend. He is your God. He is your spiritual master. He is your blood relation. He is your maternal cousin. He is your messenger, your well-wisher, your order carrier, and your charioteer. We can only pray to satisfy him through our disciplines of silence and peace and meditation. But being naturally satisfied with you, he has submitted himself to your control. Oh, how can the infinite wonders of his bodily beauty, his effulgence, and his charm be properly described? Features so attractive have never been seen by anyone else. These unprecedented attractive features of Krishna leave one struck with amazement. And so also do his pastimes, his qualities, his pure love, his glorious virtues, and the places where he sports. He loves his devotees unconditionally as they love him. I think that had he not descended in his own original form, the world would never have known his true identity as the personality of Godhead. O saintly Pandavas, is anyone bold enough to allow his tongue to describe the unique love for Krishna that each one of you has, or the special mercy he bestows upon you? Krishna stayed with you throughout the war. And when he tried to leave and return to the Yadus, Kunti dissuaded him with her prayers and induced him to stay a few months more. Krishna bestowed upon Yudhisthira the highest prestige, and he allowed Bhima to kill Jarasandha, granting him unequaled fame. And saintly Arjuna became renowned throughout the world for his intimate friendship with Krishna. I can never sing all the glories of Arjuna. And as for Nakul and Sahadev, everyone has seen how fixed in love for Krishna they are and how they behaved at the Rajasuya. During that sacrifice, Krishna with his own hand sprinkled Queen Draupadi's hair with water from the ritual vessel sanctified by mantras. He spoke to her with affection reserved for intimate family members, calling her my dear friend. He removed all her sorrow. Once Krishna said to you, a friend of the Pandavas is my friend, and an enemy of the Pandavas is my enemy. The Pandavas are my very life heir. For a moment, Yudhisthira remained silent. And then he sighed, as if embarrassed. He took this exaggerated praise to be false and thought that Narada was teasing him. And at last he spoke, followed in turn by his brother, his wife, and his mother. Yudhisthira said, "O crest jewel of brilliant speakers, Lord Hari has no mercy for us. We cannot remember any mercy he has shown us, even after we consider this for a long time. Now our enemies have been destroyed, our kingdom returned, and our grief made greater than ever before. It is our fault that many saintly persons met their demise, including venerable teachers like Drona and Bhishma, and sons like Abhimanyu. Most of our noble relatives, many of them saintly, have been killed in the conflict, deprived of their association. We can no longer find happiness. We enjoyed the pleasure of seeing Krishna's lotus face only once in a while, after long absence, when he visits on some business. The Yadavas alone are his true friends. Living with him in Dwarka, he is always busy satisfying them. From time to time, you've observed him carrying messages, driving chariots, or doing other things, other services for us. But he does those things only to protect our religious principles. Then Bhima, the bosom friend of the Lord of the Yadavas, laughed loudly and he said, "Please listen, my dear disciple of Sri Krishna. Krishna is the original source of illusion, the guru of all clever deceivers. His acts are fathomless like the ocean. We have little faith in many of the crafty things he says and does. How cleverly he juggles the meanings of words." Bhima was so intimate with Krishna that he could pretend to discern in Narada's character the faults the sage had acquired by being in Krishna's association. Since Bhima and his brothers are experienced men of the world, they're not going to put trust in such behavior. Then Arjuna, the intimate friend of Krishna, dejectedly spoke, sighing again and again. Krishna and Arjuna are dearer to one another than life. It was painful for Arjuna to think how rarely he now saw his friend. O godly Narada, he said, the great mercy your beloved Lord supposedly bestowed upon us has in fact become the cause of our sorrow. For my sake, he tolerated repeated attacks on his divine body, although I tried to stop him. The blows he received seemed to penetrate his skin and draw blood. Even today, when I remember these incidents, I cannot remove the arrow of grief in my heart. How then can I feel any happiness? Acts that bring pain to a dear one are not signs of compassion or love. Sri Krishna chose to speak his own Gita directly to me, but having now left me alone, I do not consider myself fortunate. No one is dearer to me than Krishna. With his all-enchanting, beautiful form, he is the reservoir of pure, unconditional love, the upholder of his word, the best of well-wishing friends, and the omnipotent Lord of all. Hearing these words from the Pandavas, Draupadi, overwhelmed with sorrow, spoke, crying in a choked voice. So many times, my intimate friend Sri Krishna saved me from shame and killed the wicked Kauravas. I thought he would always show us mercy. My father, my brother, and my sons have all fallen in battle, but nonetheless I don't lament, for by nature I accept whatever he may desire. After my family members were killed, he personally sat at my side and he consoled me with persuasive arguments. I always drink the immortal nectar of those charming words, so pleasing to the mind, and the smiles that went with them. I had hoped that on some pretext or another, he would always be here. But now, how can I think that he is showing me any mercy? Then Mother Kunti spoke up with tears in her eyes. I had no husband to protect me, but Krishna always interceded just in time to save me and my sons from calamity. Yet now, the thought that Krishna is merciful to me never enters my mind. For everywhere, in our home and in the homes of all our neighbors, I hear the loud mourning of women whose relatives have been slain. Deprived of seeing him, I begged Krishna to give us more calamities, to take away our wealth and come once again in our sight. He gave us a kingdom, and now he has abandoned us, and he resides in Dwarka. I think his real mercy would be my quick death. Therefore, go and see the Yadavas, the Lord's most beloved associates, who live immersed in a vast, unequaled ocean of joy. Narada, you know very well how great they are. What can I tell you about their glories? Immediately, the exalted sage swiftly arrived at Dwarka and entered the inner city. From a distance, he saw the fortunate Yadava heroes. He entered their Sudama hall, where they all sat ranked in order of importance, resplendent with ornaments and garlands of parijat flowers. They laughed together and exchanged clever jokes, and the effulgence of their bodies surpassed that of the sun. Their personalities were full of charm, and even the most elderly residents of the city appeared youthful and full of strength and vitality. For with their eyes, they constantly drank the beauty of Mukunda's lotus face. Surrounding Maharaj Ugrasena, they were all waiting the arrival of Krishna, who joined them every day in their assembly. He was the only object of their worship. Countless millions of Yadavas waited, absorbed in only talking about Krishna, their mind and eyes anxiously focused on the path from Krishna's inner palace. When the Yadavas learnt that Narada had arrived, they came running in a flurry. They raised him from the ground, took him by his hands, and led him into the assembly hall. They brought paraphernalia for his worship, and they offered him a large heavenly seat, but he refused to sit on it. Yielding to his desire, they gave him a place to sit on the ground. And then they all sat down around him. Then Narada stood up and bowed his head with folded hands and humbly spoke at length. Indeed, this family of Yadus is most praiseworthy. You are more radiant than the residents of Vaikuntha. By your grace, the world of men has surpassed Vaikuntha and attained supreme glory. Narada was thinking that Krishna had forgotten about Vaikuntha, for he is bound by such intense, unbreakable, loving exchanges with these yadus. He sees the yadus. He talks to the yadus. He sits with them. He touches them. He eats with them. He sleeps with them. He follows them when they walk. He takes part in their marriage ceremonies and shares all activities, all other activities of embodied life. These relations are more tangible than the yogi's union with him in meditation. And thus, by his pastimes, Krishna spreads among the yadus infinite pleasure, destroying any desire they may ever have thought of, and increasing more and more their devotion to him. So here he is speaking to them, praising them. O greatest receivers of the mercy of Krishna's lotus feet, you are all transcendental persons. Today, please be merciful to me. Please bless me that I may wander throughout the universe, constantly singing your glories, while eating, sleeping, walking, speaking, bathing, enjoying diversions. You are so absorbed in pure love for Krishna that you even forget your own families and possessions. So Narada concluded that of all the Yadavas, all of them, Maharaj Ugrasena was the greatest. So he offered his homage directly to him. O Maharaj Ugrasen, King of exalted kings, who can describe the extent of your great fortune? King of exalted kings, you sit on your great throne, and that same Hari stands before you like a servant, addressing you with reverence. My Lord, he says, please order me your servant. I therefore offer my obeisances to you and all your relatives. The fortunate Yadavas said, even our Supreme Master, Sri Krishna, worships you. So why then, O venerable sage, are you acting as a lowly person by offering respects to us, the most lowly? You can defeat the wit of Brahma, the master of speech. And so, by the power of our Lord Yadavendra, what you have said cannot be untrue. Out of respect, the Yadavas felt obliged to accept Narada's words as true. Ultimately, they cannot deny their own glories, because their glories are inseparably related to Krishna. All they can do is they can try to minimize Narada's praise by presenting the greater glories of a better devotee, Uddhava. So none of the Yadavas consider themselves as valuable an advisor as Uddhava. Uddhava has received Krishna's greatest mercy. That exalted soul is Lord Yadavendra's advisor, disciple, servant, and extremely dear friend. Uddhava stays with Krishna when he enjoys his meals, and he is the only person who always obtains the Lord's Mahaprasad. Uddhava massages his master's lotus feet, and then he happily falls asleep with the Lord's feet on his lap. When Uddhava serves as the Lord's minister in the assembly hall, his precious gems of advice and his flood of witty, charming comments earn abundant praise from Sri Hari. And they also delight all of us, the Yadavas say, and they fulfill all of our desires. And they continue. They say, when Uddhava is dressed, bedecked with jewels, pearl necklaces, yellow silk cloth, and forest flower garlands, and makara-shaped earrings and other ornaments, he delights us, and we mistake him for the son of Devaki himself. No one attracts the hearts of Krishna's devotees more than Uddhava. Then, showing various symptoms of ecstasy, Narada stood up, ready to set off and find Uddhava. Now Narada has been many times to Dwarka. He knows where Uddhava's house is. So he was about to leave when King Ugrasena said to him, "Please go quickly and convey from us this message to Uddhava. Tell him that the appointed time today for Krishna to come to the assembly hall has already passed. So kindly bring Krishna at once to grace the assembly with our Master's presence." The idea here implies that without seeing Krishna, the Yadavas would be left helpless. They expect and require to see Krishna every day in person. Another implication here is that Narada is more fortunate even than the Yadavas because he can freely enter Krishna's private quarters whenever he wants. So here we will leave Narada on his way to Uddhava's house or Krishna's palace to find out why Krishna is late and to bring him immediately to the Sadhana assembly of the Yadava clan. Thank you. Hare Krishna.